In the reading from the Acts of the Apostles, we hear that refrain that I mentioned at the beginning of the Mass. The Lord said to him in a vision, "Do not be afraid." Now, at this point in Paul's life, what has he experienced? He's been stoned, presumably to death, but he got up from that stoning and went right back into the same city to address the very people that stoned him. He's been shipwrecked, he's been beaten, he's been imprisoned, and from prison he escaped because an earthquake came and rattled the jail, and out he walked. He's seen the power and the providence of God work in his life over and over again. And here he is in Corinth, and he must be what? I don't think the Lord would say this to him if Paul wasn't afraid. This constant reality that our path of discipleship, our path of witness to our faith, our trust in the providence of God is being assaulted, if you will, by the world. And so we need, over and over again, we need the virtue of courage. We need the gift of fortitude. And we need to grow in these things. Today begins the novena in anticipation of Pentecost. The gifts of the Holy Spirit. One of the gifts of the Holy Spirit is courage, also known as fortitude. We need to continue to grow in these things. We need the power of the Holy Spirit, the power that transformed the apostles from cowering in fear in the upper room to out proclaiming the gospel. We need the transforming power in our lives. I need it. I need the gift of the Holy Spirit to move me from cowardice to courage, to boldness, to have understanding and knowledge and counsel. And I have a feeling you need it too. If St. Paul, whom we should all look to with incredible respect, Paul could even say at one point in his life, "Be imitators of me." We have one of the most famous books in Catholicism is The Imitation of Christ. Paul says, "Be imitators of me," because he was a reflection of who? Of Christ. But even Paul needed to hear the power of God speak to him. Do not be afraid. Be courageous. So I encourage you to prepare yourself for Pentecost, to do a novena of prayer. Father Braxton yesterday sent out a flock note. And that flock note is going to be followed up by every day. You're going to get, those of you that have signed up for flock note are going to get a reminder every morning at 5 a.m. It's programmed in to pray day 1 of the novena, day 2 of the novena, day 3 of the novena. So please, my kind of take-home message for you today is to pray the novena and pray it specifically for the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And we are reminded today of our perpetual need for courage in the face of the difficulties to be a disciple in this world.